Me post says, life has a way of breaking even the strongest of us, and it's hard to keep the understanding that we can enter into life again. When I can find the courage to lean into that place where I am broken, to lean into the opening and let the rush of life touch me there, even though it's incredibly tender, there begins the beginning of resilience. So the purpose of love is to help each other not stay limited in our view of life. It's rather to see that we are broken open as seeds to bear fruit, and we can meet each other there and be touched by each other, so that we can remember that we can inhabit this one precious life that we are given. This is the passion and purpose of a Sacred Song Community Yoga. At my first training with first responders, I met a young man who was doing yoga for the first time. When he introduced himself to me and I asked the purpose of him being here, he mentioned his intimate connection with the Yarnell wildfire as a wildland firefighter. His story made me gasp for my own breath, and I knew I had to do something for those who put their lives on the line for the rest of us. When trauma enters into our lives, it actually causes damage to our central nervous system, where our sense of what's safe and what's a threat comes into question. I want to reach out to those who have lost their context and connection with their own bodies and minds through trauma, and so I began a yoga-based stress management course called Bootstrap. At the same time, I began a training through Give Back Yoga in trauma-sensitive yoga and resilience training for veterans and first responders with PTSD at the Sedona Yoga Festival. What the rest of us don't understand is that emergency personnel have to be ready in a moment to go from peace and calm right into that fight and flight mode when they get that call. Once the call is dealt with and they are coming back to the station, their sympathetic nervous system just can't stop the adrenaline rush that pushed them into action. It needs to learn how to engage back in with the parasympathetic nervous system to come back to that place of calm. Yoga provides the tools for that. It's like we have this toolbox filled with tools that we don't know about yet. This is why I'm doing this video, to let others know about the tools in the toolbox. When we begin to step out of our own familiar zones, we realize there are others that are at the end of our own rope. And if we can just breathe into it, lean into it, they help us to stand as much as we help them. You begin to align yourself with things that you never thought you could do again. You become that wild thing inside that is determined to push through the fear, the pain, the confusing messages, and you begin to believe again that you are strong and stable, tender and worthy of your life. In my work with teaching yoga to our heroes that have sacrificed their lives to keep us safe, I give them strong affirmations during the hardest part of the pose to encourage them to go further than they thought they could. When we consciously engage our breath with our poses, we allow the process of integration and healing into the space of trauma. When we are consciously breathing, it's impossible for the mind to engage in past experiences. Conscious breathing brings us to right here, right now with what's on the screen of our lives. And it's from that place of connection and engagement with the moment that we can respond rather than react. And it begins the process of healing the old wounds inside. The affirmations that help strengthen us in our yoga practices are, I am strong and stable. I am a tender warrior, full of strength. I am stable and resilient. I am worthy to love and be loved. I am a warrior, tender and mighty. I am free to love and release those things that no longer serve me. Everywhere I turn, I choose to see joy. Everywhere I look, there's peace and joy waiting for me. My life is a treasure, and I'm free to give that treasure to others. I can be strong and yet humble. In the process of my training, I met Alex, and he began to tell me that he works with therapy horses for veterans and first responders. He showed me a picture of Bella Luna, his horse. Her name means beautiful moon. I was so drawn into her presence, even in her picture, that I wanted to meet her instantly. I couldn't get the picture of that one half side of her face out of my mind. It was like the eye of God was piercing through my soul, trying to unearth something within me that I had even covered up. I asked Alex if I could write a song about her. The song is the concept that when we look eye to eye into the soul of another, we realize that we are not alone in this world. Alex then introduced me to Bella in person and to the owner of Horse Rhythms, a foundation dedicated to helping others through horse therapy. It is owned and operated by a veteran, and she invited me to do some meditation and yoga there. Well, the rest of it is all history. We decided to do some yoga with the horses, and also Alex arranged for me to do some yoga with Bella too. Doing yoga with horses around was pretty unfamiliar to me. I had to do exactly what I teach others. I had to engage with my breath and my inner strength to stay right here, right now, with what's on the screen, rather than go into that place of intimidation with her size and her strength. These horses are therapists. They mimic human moods, and they therefore draw out what's inside. Alex reminded me when I was getting on Bella's back about this very thing. I had to lean into her and engage, trusting them both. This was big for me, and it taught me about my own trauma and my need to trust again through my own brokenness. I love the story of the journey of the lotus. It is birthed deep within the murky waters of a pond, and when the light from the sun hits the surface of the pond, the lotus begins to rise to the surface. And as it rises, all the murky soil begins to fall away, and by the first time it reaches the light, it is pure and clean. Yoga shines its light on the murkiness of our trauma, and as we rise up out of it, everything that no longer serves us begins to fall away. Going through bootstrap and trauma-sensitive yoga, along with meeting Alex and Bella, made me so aware that I couldn't cut myself off from the world's cries. I couldn't stay on the fence now, because when you are sensing the eye of spirit looking at you through the eye of a horse, well, you know you won't go back to being the same. I had to lean in with my whole spirit, soul, and body to my teachers at hand. I don't know where this will all take me, but I do know that I can trust the path and find that as I reach out to restore life and joy and peace to others, I will receive that from them too. It's said that upon meeting the Native Americans, they don't ask, "How are you?" They ask, "How are the connections?" Because they know how our connections go in life, so goes our lives. So that question was huge for me. How are the connections? And it's what I want to ask others. And I want to ask, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? That's what my job is as a life coach and a yoga instructor, to help others connect with themselves again. And with that connection intact, see themselves start to flourish again. This is why I teach the strong affirmations, to let people to believe again that they can venture out and know that it doesn't have to fail. They can succeed and come back to joy. It's just taking that one step to put your foot on the mat, and the alignment with life begins again. This is my passion, and this is my purpose. Namaste. when you find your heart is ripping at the seams, and you struggle at the core of everything you believe, questions unanswered, and peace so hard to find, grasping at pieces of the dreams you left behind. When you're not sure if you'll ever find your home, you're not alone. You're not alone, I'm still here. My eye is on your future, there's nothing left to fear. I give my oath, I'm holding you. If you still can't feel me now, don't despair. Look in her eyes, you'll see me there. You're not alone.
I know the battles you are facing seem so strong, but to love yourself enough is the greatest of them all. Just keep on going, one step at a time. Your call to duty's not the end of the line, and I'm right here at the end of your rope. You're not alone.
You're not alone, I'm still here. My eye is on your future, there's nothing left to fear. I give my oath, I'm holding you. If you still can't feel me now, don't despair. Look in her eyes, you'll see me there. You're not alone. Your faith is not one-sided, I have faith in you too. Though your doubts creep in, don't let them win the war. You're not alone, I'm still here. My eye is on your future, there's nothing left to fear. I give my oath, I'm holding you. If you still can't feel me now, don't despair. Look in her eyes, you'll see I'm there. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone, I'm still here. My eye is on your future, there's nothing left to fear. I give my oath, I'm holding you. If you still can't feel me now, don't despair. Look in her eyes, you'll see me there. You're not alone. Your faith is not one-sided, I have faith in you too. Though your doubts creep in, don't let them win the war.
If you still can't feel me now, don't despair. Look in her eyes, you'll see I'm there. You're not alone. You're not alone.